Hi there, I'm going to explain you Scrum in less than 10 minutes in simple language and comparing to the traditional approach. So usually it all starts with you having work that has to be done. Then you decide who will do this work and how they are going to do it. So there are three main questions: what, who, and how, and three main parts: the work itself, the organizational units, or the teams or departments, and the process of how the work will be done. The first question: what? You have some amount of work that has to be done. You have this number of work elements, and usually they are some kind of divided into the phases, because you have your workflow, you have your process, and almost every piece of work or requirements or customer need, they have these stages, and they are similar for all the elements you have in your list of work. Let's say you have work elements A, B, C, and D, and each of them is divided into these phases: first, second, third, and fourth stage. And here is the difference. With the traditional approach, you can take, for example, all the work elements and only perform the first phase for every work element you have in your list. And you take this column, you take all the elements of your work and you perform first phase for all the list. But with Scrum, you do not take all the work. Instead of decomposing the work into phases, you decomposing the work by results, by the outcomes, by the deliverables that you can deliver to the client, your customers, or end users. So you decompose these elements of work further, but not vertically, but horizontally. And you make them smaller, and instead of taking all the work but only the first phase of these jobs, you take this smaller scope item and take them entirely into your work. The second question: how this work will be done. And here we will be more specific, and we will answer the question how this work will be done in terms of the time frames. With traditional approach, we just estimate the time that will be needed to do the work. With the iterative and incremental approach, we choose the time frame, and this time frame is small, really small. It can be 1 month, or maybe 3 weeks, 2 weeks, or even 1 week. And we choose this length of this interval, or let's say iteration. And after we chose this time frame, it is fixed and we will not change it really often. So let's say we chose 2 weeks intervals. In Scrum they are called sprints, and we will do the work in these intervals, in these 2 weeks iterations, 2 weeks sprints. And we will take only such amount of work that can be done, can be completed and delivered within this interval. And at the end of each interval, we will deliver something that works, something that is useful, something that can be used, really used by the clients or the customers. Not just some interim results, but something actually created. It has fewer characteristics, fewer features, however it is completed and the quality standards are fulfilled. And the third question is who is going to do the work, and into what units people will be organized. And here, instead of traditional teams and functional departments and competency managers, we organize people into cross-functional stable teams. They are not shared across different projects. They are not scattered across different initiatives. They are focused on one objective, on one product or one project, and act as a stable 100% dedicated cross-functional teams with fewer dependencies. So our ultimate goal is to deliver faster, to decrease waiting time, And to do that, we need fewer dependencies or no dependencies at all. And for that, we need our teams to be cross-functional, meaning that they need to be able to do as much work as they possibly can, from the idea to the end result, meeting client, customer, or end user. The core, the answers for these three questions: what are we going to do, who is going to do it, and how they will be organized, and how they are going to do it in terms of the process. Now let's get back to the previous question of how this cross-functional team will do this work. Basically, the process is pretty much the same and similar to the traditional process, except that the time frame is short. We will do planning at the beginning, then we will perform the work itself, synchronizing daily to be aligned one with another, and after that, at the end, we will present the work, we will analyze the work itself, the process will be analyzed as well, and make some conclusions and adjust our process and adjust our way of work and adjust our approaches to create the result better, more effectively in the next iteration. But anyway, in general, the process is pretty much the same. We have planning, we have work in the middle, and we have presenting the result and analyzing the result and the process itself at the end, and then we repeat it iteratively, delivering increment. That is why it is called incremental approach. And basically, Scrum consists of answers to these three questions and some additional concepts that support the process and the team involved. And these concepts are empowerment. So people should be empowered by the organization to decide on how they will approach the work. And being empowered, they become self-organized. They can organize around the work and decide how we will do the work. There are no hierarchies, no sub-team within the team, and there are no little bosses. There are no senior leads, functional managers who are controlling the quality of the work, because the team is self-organizing. And also the team is focused. They are focused on the result that they want to achieve by the end of this short interval. And this small deliverable that is delivered at the end of the sprint is called increment in Scrum. And team is focused on creating this increment to achieve the goal of this iteration, the sprint goal. Now I will try to describe Scrum as briefly as possible. Here it is. Cross-functional, stable, dedicated team creates and delivers some piece of the product each and every sprint. Okay, I'll try to do it even shorter. Cross-functional team delivers new version of the product each short sprint. How do you like it? Hope that you liked the video. If so, please thumb up, leave a comment and subscribe. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.